Anyhow, hello, my name is Kim Sherman Labram. I am going to be your host for this evening for creating reels and other short form videos. I'm so excited that you're here. And I am looking forward to showing you some really cool stuff. I'm just letting a few more people in. And oh, here we go. Ding ding. Lots of things. Okay. So I'm going to do a quick introduction about the Small Business Development Center where I work. And the SBDC, for those of you who are entrepreneurs, and if you want to tell me about your business and put it in the chat, I love that. If you don't, that's fine. You can sit back and relax. You don't have to interact at all. You can just listen. But the Small Business Development Center is not a nonprofit. It is
Heard about
a
this today from
program that exists for to help small businesses be more successful. And we do that through a program of no cost confidential consulting, as well as some training of which you're about to experience. And we also have a few other programs, like we're housed at Boise State University. So sometimes we're able to put people into student projects. So that's really nice. And then we also have an accelerator space out in Nampa. So for early stage businesses who are ready to get out of the house, but they're not quite ready to take on like a full-on 5 month lease or 5 year lease or something along those lines. So, all right. So this is me. Tomorrow, I will send you a link to this recording. It'll be on YouTube so that you can watch it. And if you have questions or if you've forgotten, or I did something and you're like, hey, I don't remember that. You talked about it too fast. Please send me an email. I'd be happy. You're welcome to call me, but a lot of times I'm not free to take phone calls because I'm meeting with clients. So, but happy to hear about whatever questions that you have, and I'm open to answering those for you. If you want and I see that some of you are sharing in the chat about your businesses. Thank you so much. I love that. And so you can tell us about what your business you have and whether or not you've made any business or any kind of videos before, or how far along you are in this particular process. But I am going to kind of jump into content and oops, we went too far. Let me go back. Sorry, go back to here. Basically, the first half of our presentation is going to be kind of almost what I call housekeeping. So, kind of the best practices for making videos. I assume, based on some of the things that you've put in the chat and stuff, you're not super familiar with it. It's a little intimidating, and so I want to give you a good foundation for setting up and doing doing videos. And then we're going to get into the fun part where I am going to bring up my mobile device and I'm going to do live videos. Well, pre-recorded videos, but I'm going to show you how to make reels on all the platforms. So we're going to start with Canva and move on to Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and edits and stuff. So I'm just going to basically kind of roll through and show you kind of the basics on each one of those platforms. What you will find is after we kind of do the first one or two, they all kind of have a very similar interface with one another. And so it's not, whichever one you choose to work with or multiples, you'll probably find that they're very similar in scope. The buttons will just be in different places pretty much. So, okay. All right. So hang on, still got people coming in. There we go. Fantastic. More people coming in. Wow. A lot of I'm surprised. Usually get about a 50% show up rate and then about 50% I'll watch the recording later. So that's great. So okay. So video technology has really
Hey Kim.
on. I'm gonna mute her. Okay. Okay, so back to video technology. It's really come a long way. The fact that we have a video camera in our pocket that allows us to make really high quality videos is really spectacular. I love that. If you have one of these cute little guys, you have a video production team in your pocket. And there's a few things that are going to make better quality videos, but all in all you need is a phone. And so I really like how our phones have really been a great equalizer. Now, would you like to can you pay people to make videos for you? Absolutely. So, Laura, you says your screen just says video technology. You can't see a picture? Okay. All right.
That's
Is
all I have is video technology has come a long way too. Are we supposed to be somewhere else?
Well, there
No.
should be two images on there as well.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Okay, great. Okay, great. Okay, fantastic. All right, I'm going to move along then. Okay. So, talk about some tips for shooting your video, first and foremost. So, first, I want to talk about space. So, for me, my space right here, what I'm recording, is really nice because it's fake. If you look at me, you can see my hand kind of moves and disappears in the background. This is a virtual background that I'm allowed to have via Zoom. So, that happens to be the situation here. If you're not using Zoom, there are other options, but I want you to think about what is in your space. So, even if if you're need to make like a little corner, well, that is going to be your recording corner, and you have a nice neutral background, or whatever it is that you want to put in the backgrounds, but try to think about what's behind you. And I would highly recommend that you take a video of yourself and then watch that video and look very intently on what's in the background. I'm sure we've all seen very funny videos where somebody's done something and there's something kind of not great in the background, right? And like I said, when I'm here, the reason I don't worry is because I have a virtual background. So that way you don't have to see my husband or the cats or any other chaos that's going on in my house in the background. When I am doing other kinds of videos, when it's not Zoom, I actually have like a bookshelf that with everything set up, and I go up against the bookshelf. And I sort of curated the bookshelf so that, there's nothing there that's super offensive, right? Anyhow, so think about what your background is going to look like. If you get the opportunity, if you're a small business, putting your logo in the background, like what we have right here. So, literally, our team created these virtual backgrounds for us, which is great. So they look like little offices and whatnot. But you can use any number of programs, specifically Canva, which I taught a class in and some of you attended. You can make virtual backgrounds in Canva with your logo very easily. So, okay. All right, I want you to also think about your lighting. So ring lighting is very useful. That's what I'm using right here. I actually have a ring light that's attached to my monitor. And I actually have a picture of that coming up here in just a second. But if you can, natural light is better, right? Being in front of a window, that's really the place where you want to be, is natural light. But not everybody has windows. And even if you have windows, it's not always the best place to record. Sometimes windows come with a lot of sound, noise, and that kind of stuff. So, but however you film, I want you to, again, this is where you take the sample video and you start looking like, do we have kind of like some kind of shadow on our. So the reason that my light is up here is because it fully illuminates my light. And without any shadows, I could turn on other lights, but this one overrides everything. And I don't have to worry about that. The other thing I want you to think about is the sound of wherever you're recording. You may think that your home is very, very quiet until you start to record something, and then you start to listen to it back. And then all of a sudden, you can hear things like, the dryer running, the dishwasher, cars in the distance, all of those things. So that's why I sample video to kind of look at all of these things and get an idea. Now, if you don't have a space that's conducive to making videos in your home or your office, there are resources. You can go to any library here in the area, and almost every single one of them, well, all of them have study rooms and small rooms that you can reserve. I know for a fact that the Meridian Library has sound pods. Unbound, which is part of the Meridian Library District, has a sound studio with podcasting equipment and all kinds of really cool stuff. I believe Boise also has some sound equipment that you can check out and use. So be aware of your surroundings and take advantage of what's there if you don't have something that's working at home. Okay. All right. So speaking of so the ring light. So this is what I'm talking about here is this ring light. It's on a tripod. You can get them so that, it has like a little gooseneck that you can put your phone on. And you can buy these I've seen them for as cheap as like $15. Now, are they great when they're only $15? They tend to be a little wiggly. So I bought like a $15, $20 one. And when I put my phone in it, it's very tippy. And the gooseneck is very loose. So think about that as if it can be problematic. Now, the one that I'm using right now actually has a clip, and it's got a really strong like C-clamp clip that's on top of my monitor, and I can take it off and hook it to like the side of a bookshelf or whatever, and that's working really well. What it doesn't have is a place for my phone in the center of it because it's a very small ring light. So, okay. All right. Again, I've already talked about your equipment as far as the smartphone. So I use my smartphone. Some people still have these SLR cameras. These are fantastic, right? But the problem with SLR cameras is they have really, really crappy microphones. Okay. They take beautiful pictures, they will take beautiful videos, but the sound quality on them is absolutely horrific. So if you have an SLR camera, I would highly recommend that you get a set of microphones. And I bought these microphones. This is a Leadus, and I will include this with my information and a link. It's not an affiliate link. I'm not getting anything out of this. I just happen to really like this little guy. These are lavalier microphones, so you can see that. It clips right to my lapel. It plugs into the bottom of my phone. And the cool thing is it actually comes with two of them. And I've actually used these where I put one on me and one on somebody that I'm interviewing, and the sound all feeds into my phone, just like there were wires and stuff. So last time I looked at these, I bought mine for $20. Last time I did this class, they were on sale for 13. So we're not talking a whole lot of money. By the way, these are also rechargeable. So there's like the battery, I just have to plug it in. It comes with a couple of different bafflings. So this one's got the fuzzy baffle. It's also got the sponge. I think it's called a baffle, just to help with sound. And whatnot, ambient noise and that kind of thing. So your phone has a decent microphone in it, but honestly, if you're going to spend a lot of time making videos, then I would recommend investing in a little bit of equipment. The name is Leetus, Leettus. And like I said, you can find it on Amazon. That's where I bought this one. You can find any number of ring lights there that do the exact same thing. So, but again, for probably $30 to $50, you could have a really decent setup as far as equipment goes. And it's not expensive and you don't have to worry about it. So, okay, next. Okay. So next, I want you to talk about a little bit about video concepts. I want you to think about what story are you trying to tell? Why are you doing videos, right? So you can just jump on and start making a video, and that's great. That's a great way to learn. But if you really want to be mindful of what the content is that you're putting out, I want you to think about like what is your story? What is the purpose? And also who or what is going to be the star. So I've been a business consultant for about 13 years now. I've worked for the SBDC for 27. But in my time working with small businesses, I've been recommending doing video for years. And every time I say this to somebody, they tighten up and they get really uncomfortable. And you could tell they don't want to be on video. It makes them uncomfortable. And if you want to know how uncomfortable, look at how many of you have your video off during the Zoom because you don't want to be seen. And that's fine. I understand. I was the same way. However, I realized that during the pandemic, specifically when I came home to work, that I was giving people this advice, but I wasn't heeding my advice. And so I went, okay, I'm going to do it. So I started going out just to get away from the computer and sitting in my front yard, and I would do Instagram lives. And so basically just holding it up, selfie position and talking into the camera. And I would do, 10 or 15 minutes of just, randomly talking about my whatever was going on in the yard, the neighbors and that kind of stuff. And I did that every day for about 30 days, somewhere in that area, almost every day. And I got really comfortable with being on video. The other thing is since the pandemic, I came home and started working on Zoom. And so I got really used to staring at myself on Zoom. So I think that's a big thing is just being aware and getting out there and doing it. And you can record videos that nobody ever sees, right? So I think we all have this idea that I immediately need to, like, when I make the video, I'm going to post it on Instagram. You don't have to post it anywhere. You can make the video and then you can just watch it and critique it, look at what's in your background, look for lights, look for shadows, figure out how good the sound is, figure out your ticks. Okay. So what do I mean by ticks? I don't know why, but whenever I'm on video, my nose itches. And so my tick is I'm always rubbing my nose like I have a cocaine addiction or something like that. I don't know why. But I've noticed that. And so I really try not to. I also talk with my hands. And so I actually try not to do that as much because me flailing around is kind of distracting. How do I stop that? I have things here to play with by my desk. So I have this is a little slinky that I keep in my hands and keep down to keep my hands busy so I don't gesticulate too much. So I really think doing some test videos and never showing the light of day to anyone but yourself so that you can kind of see what your ticks are. A lot of people, I will tell you, I know when people are uncomfortable on video because they spend a lot of time fussing with their hair or their clothes or something because all of a sudden they're seeing themselves and they're not used to looking at themselves constantly. So they're like, oh, my hair's doing this and my shirt's all messed up and everything. And so if you notice a lot of those kinds of ticks, try to work on not doing that. Like I said, one way to not do things with your hands is have something to play with. And then just pay attention to like how frequently you're touching your face or your other things. Okay. All right. So I want you to think about what kinds of story types, and this is really focused on small business. And I know not all of you are small businesses, but I still think this is useful. So a business story, highlight who you are, what you do, and why you do it. Really, this tells me as the viewer, why should I care? Tell your story. Why did you get into this? Why are you doing this? And so, a couple of your people shared what they do. One person who's here, Serge, hi Serge, is doing Belgian chocolates, which he's always a favorite in the class because he has Belgian chocolate. And so Serge is has a story to tell because I'm sorry, I'm calling you out, Serge, but I hope you're okay with that. And got the thumbs up, thanks. He just Oh, whiskey bourbon shirts, nice. And so Serge just moved here from Belgium and a little over 30 days ago and got married and is starting a business. So, pretty much all the life changes that he could possibly do all at one time. All he needs to do is have a baby and he pretty much gets the prize there. So anyhow, but people want to hear about that, right? It's really cool. Like why did you come to Idaho? Why did you move here? And so, these are the kinds of things that Serge can tell in what his story, and he can tell it with, his face. And I'll talk about different kinds of videos and stuff too. So, all right. Next, talking about the product. So again, I'm going to use you as my guinea pig, Serge. Talking about the kinds of products. So Serge makes handmade Belgian chocolates. How fantastic is that, right? Who doesn't like that, except for people who are allergic to chocolate, obviously. But he gets to, his videos are, making the chocolate, unboxing when he gets it. He gets a shipment of chocolate from Belgium, detailing how you're doing whatever it is that you do. So, our Turi said that they have whiskey bourbon shirts. So, are you getting your shirts pre-printed someplace else and you have a big unboxing video? That's great. If you're screen printing them or direct printing them yourselves, that how-to video. People love that. Also, show what it is that you do that solves a problem, right? So, in Serge's case, the problem is I need chocolate and it makes me happy, right? Chocolate makes people happy. Somebody else up at the top of the chat said that they were a mental health therapist. That one's a little harder, but you can also talk about like, how you're helping people, how what you do solves a problem. Okay. Great. Next, promotion, right? Now, I don't want all of your videos to be promotion if you're a small business, but it makes a lot of sense. This is a really great opportunity to announce special deals. Hey, we've got a special on chocolate for Valentine's Day, right? We've just there's new information out about certain kinds of mental health, EMDR or something like that. Those kinds of things. But I will say use this a little sparingly. People are pretty sharp when it comes to being sold to, and we recognize that. And a promotional story is a sales story, correct? So we don't want to go and spend a lot of time being sold to. So try to focus your stories on the other two kinds, but you can always put a little bit in there as a promotional. All right. So the next thing I want to talk to, and I am a big fan of scripting and storyboarding. Now, do I think that you need a script where you write out every single word? No, absolutely not. As a matter of fact, I think that's the worst possible thing that you can do. However, I think that having a script that basically highlights the things that you need to be talking about so that you don't forget things or get off track, is very, very wise. If you're artistic, storyboards is generally something that's used a lot with people who are filming movies or that kinds of things, but you can use a bulleted list. You can use what I'm doing right now where I have a presentation and my outline is literally these pictures. You notice that my storyboarding script has three words on it, a picture, and I've been talking for 3 minutes about it because I can't. I don't need to put all of my words onto the presentation because they're here. This just keeps me on track. But especially if you're new to making video and content, I think it's very, very smart to do this. And I actually, when I started making videos, I started making YouTube videos before there were shorts. And I did Quick Tips with Kim. And it was just a series of technology tips that I would show people how to, I don't know, kind of like what I'm doing tonight, making a reel or figuring out how to schedule something in your email or whatever kind of took my fancy. And I would literally have a sticky note that was on my monitor that said, these are the 5 things that I want to cover in this 60-second or 2-minute video. So anyhow, make a script of some sort or storyboard. Just it's good Good policy. All right, some more best practices. A clear and concise message, right? It's really easy to ramble, and I'm sure we've all watched those videos. TikTok is one of them ones where you can do a 10-minute video, and I watch TikToks because they're 60 seconds, and I get to move on to the next thing. And suddenly, I've been sucked into a 10-minute story, and I'm like, I could have watched 10 TikToks. It's okay, and I don't regret it, but also it does help you be more clear and concise if you know about what it is that you want to talk about. The other thing is that most people really, especially with making reels and short form videos, they you have to kind of catch their attention in the first 5 to 15 seconds. And so, how do you do that? That's a good question. One way is if you're making something, showing the end product first and then showing the process of making that is a really great way of starting it. So you can state what you're going to be talking about. I'm sure you've all seen reels where they say some kind of like inflammatory or some kind of statement that's like, wait a minute, I'm having a problem with this, right? Or I'm doing this, and people watch because they want to argue. That's one way of going about it. You don't have to, but trying to capture their attention in those first 5 to 15 seconds. Showing off cute animals in the first little bit always is a good way. So, and at the end, you don't have to do this, but delivering a compelling call to action or a timely offer. So I'm just catching up, and so Melissa has a question that says, how do I make a video that shows what I want students to see, where to look, and changing over your shoulder? Now, Melissa, that's a tough one because I would not recommend you make videos while you drive. That's not good. That's teaching, and it's also illegal, right? You're not supposed to be touching your phone while you're behind the wheel. Now, you could be parked and make sure that you're very specific and say, hey, I'm parked because I'm not going to, and the reasons why. But while you're driving, these are the kinds of things that you want to be looking for. So that would be one way of going about that. So, you can set up your camera on a like that tripod thing that's hooked to the steering wheel, so it's facing you. That's one way of doing that. Okay. Okay, great. Next, okay, I want to talk about some different kinds of production techniques as far as making videos, because I think everybody thinks that a video is pretty much what I'm doing right here. I'm on the screen, you see my face, and in this particular case, you see my screen as well. But there's other ways to do it, especially if you're shy. But I think the most effective form of video is what's called the selfie, right? You hold up the phone, your face is filling the frame, and you're talking to the camera like you're talking to a human. And by the way, if you're freaked out about making a video because you think about all the people that are going to see your video, I want you to think about your phone it's that you're just talking to one person. Don't think about the potential for the audience, because let's face it, the first few videos that you make, probably nobody's going to see, or very few people are going to see. So it's not like you're going to see thousands of people, or you're not talking to a huge audience. So when I started off doing videos, I pretended that I was just talking to my friend, and that way I could be like more natural about it. So that's where the selfie comes in. We as humans really respond to a human that makes eye contact with us, that looks at us. So that's why you see so much of that on specifically TikTok. I'm seeing it on YouTube, some on Reels, and some on Facebook and Instagram. But we do see quite a bit of that on the other platforms. So I want you to, if you're not comfortable with that, that's fine. There's other ways to do it. So we can have a backdrop, right? You could just set up something and have a backdrop. You can use it as the selfie with the backdrop, or you could just have an interesting backdrop that people look at. If you had a plant shop or something like that, you could have plants kind of waving in the background and then put text over them. I mean, there's lots of ways to create content. I watch creators, artists and stuff, that they just have their phone, they do the top down and they put their phone on and all I see is their hands. I wouldn't recognize them if I saw them in person or if I when I see their face, but I have literally watched, hundreds of their videos. I'd recognize their hands if I saw their hands. So that is another way to do this. Another thing that you can do is voiceover. Okay. And I actually kind of, voiceover is one of my favorite things to do, mostly because it's a good way to be able to record clean audio. Now you can try it when you're doing video right now, and but if there's something going on in the background stuff, there you have to kind of finagle the filter a little bit and work on it to make it a clean audio. But if you do a voiceover, you can literally talk over the top of the video that's playing and narrate along with it. And I really like that as an option. And you can do a voiceover over a video, or you can stitch together multiple images and still do a voiceover that way. I think that is very effective. So I already talked about the top down point and shoot, right? We put it on a tripod, you set it up and you shoot it, right? That's what we're talking about. So whatever it is that you're doing, tripods are fantastic. I think that they are incredibly useful, especially if you're a little bit shaky. But also do think about, like, don't get so caught up with doing super high what's the word? Highly produced video. And the reason I say that right now, because we are living in the AI age of video, right? Every other video that you're seeing on the platform is being produced by AI. And some of them are really, really good. And it's hard to determine whether or not they are AI or if they're real, right? So how do I know that something's AI or real? Well, if I'm talking to the video and I drop the phone, or a cat does something stupid, or even if it's a little shaky, it adds a little bit of authenticity. And I will tell you that in this age, people are getting really burnt out and they're starting to recognize AI. And I think authenticity and having something that's not perfect, that's not super slick, that's not overly produced, is going to be the key to being able to be successful in this landscape, when people can go and they can make a video in 10 seconds and it looks like a full-on production team put it together. Okay. So, oh, I see we've got a bunch of things. Okay. Melissa says, thank you. She's not going to operate her vehicle. Good job. Um, do it. And Lewis says, do it cheap with what you got. Yep. I love it. So, okay. Just making sure. I just noticed I had 6 messages. I'm like, how did I miss that? It's because I was talking. Okay. Action shots, right? I see people who go out all the time and they're like, I'm going on a walk. Like, I have multiple clients who are dog trainers, and I'm like, get your phone out. You're taking your dog for a walk, and go on a walk with the dog. That is brilliant content, especially if you're like paying attention to it from the dog's perspective. What are they sniffing? What are they paying attention to? All of that stuff. So, do what you can with what you have and pay attention. Like, everything is content. That's one thing I've learned with marketing nowadays, is everything is content at some point, and somebody out there is probably interested in your content. So. Okay. I mentioned the told with text. That is an option on multiple platforms, where you type, you put in what text you want it to do, and it will roll it across the screen, kind of like an animation. I think that's really great. And speaking of animation, animation is an option. There's a lot of apps and things out there that will make an animation for you. AI will do that too. Again, like, I love AI on certain levels, but there's certain things where the creation process, I think you're going to be more successful if you don't use it to the exclusion of the human element. So. So Lewis just asked about people who are making videos. How do you rise above the noise? Well, clear and concise message, be authentic, know who your audience is, know what they want, and give them more of what they want, engage with them. So those are kind of like generalized. Um, Serge, follow Kim's classes. He's my biggest fan tonight, so thank you. Okay, next, how do you measure success? So a lot of people are like, oh, I got 100 views. Cool, nice. I got 1,000 views. I got 1,000,000 views. Great. And that is a level of success, right? The more views you get tend to lead to more followers on your platform, which is fantastic. But ultimately, you can have a 1 million followers, 2 million followers. If none of them buy anything from you as a small business owner, then what difference does it make? So, what is the conversion process? Are you giving them the opportunity to purchase your stuff? And I have watched this over and over again. I am a great observer of trends and things on these platforms. And I go back to TikTok because it's kind of the newest one, and watching it from the pandemic on and seeing it evolve from the place where the teenagers were dancing and it was just silly to content creators that built audiences and did amazing things. I've watched content creators that for those of you who might remember, I can't remember the guy's name, but the dog that the bones or no bones day, right? So it was a pug that was like, I don't know, 8 million years old. I'm not sure. It was really old. And every day the guy would get on and he goes, is it a bones day or a no bones day? And the bones means that the dog had the energy to go on a walk. And a no bones day means that he wanted to curl up and go back to bed. And so the content creator would go through and be like, oh, it's a no bones day today. So take care of yourself, maybe give yourself a little extra self-care, and take it easy, be gentle with yourself. Or if it's a bones day, he's like, go out there and, take to do that thing you've been trying to do and not getting done and that kind of stuff. So he used it as a motivational thing. And I thought it was really clever. And people clamored for him to have merchandise. So, and he didn't do it. And then his fans started making merchandise and sending it to him. They made pillows and sweatshirts and all kinds of crazy stuff. And so finally he said, okay, I've made merchandise. And so you could buy the bones or no bones swag. I think it was sweatshirts and t-shirts and things. So I've also watched other creators like a potter. She would show her process of creating this pottery, and it got so popular that she got to quit her day job, which was as a high school teacher. And now all she does is do pottery full time. And when she makes enough to sell, she does a pottery drop and she lets people know, hey, the drop is happening on Wednesday at 6 o'clock. Be there, and you can buy one of my mugs. And her mugs sell from anywhere from $75 to $150 a pop. They're very nice. I can't afford them, but I think they're very cool. But this is the kind of thing that happens. And so what is the measure of success? So going back to this, so our bones and no bones thing, he was just doing something to keep him entertained during the pandemic. And then it eventually turned into a way for him to make some money through the swag. Now, sad part of the story, the dog did pass away. Good part of the story is a lot of people donated, and he now was able to rescue other pugs. And so, and he donates to shelters and stuff. So it's a happy ending as far as that goes. So what is your measurement of success? So, going back to Serge, his measurement is success is going to be how much of that chocolate he can sell out of, right? That's pretty easy. Okay, great. Okay, onward. What time is it? Okay, we're in good shape. So, okay. So, various and assorted ways to use editing software. We've got iMovie, we've got CapCut, InVideo, Instagram, the Adobe Suite edits, all of those things. I well, currently now, my background, I actually have a degree in graphic design, and I have the Adobe Creative Suite. So I actually have what is it, Premiere? Yeah, I think it's Premiere is the or the video editing software. And I find that to be very hard to deal with, to be honest, because I don't do it every day. If I did video editing all the time, Premiere would be probably where I would live and breathe. But as it is, I get to make videos maybe once a week, maybe once every couple weeks. And so Premiere is a little bit harder because it just tends to, it just has a little bit harder swing to learn. So, on the other hand, CapCut is an app that you can download and use. It takes it has a free version, which is pretty basic, and it has a paid version, a premium version, which I think is like $8 a month. I'm a little cheap, and I don't want to spend $8 a month, and so I recently switched over to Edits, which is from the Meta suite, which is Facebook and Instagram. And I really, really like it. And so also Canva. And Serge mentioned DaVinci Resolve. I've heard of that too. I haven't used it yet, so that's great. It doesn't matter which one you use as long as you feel comfortable with it and you know how to use it. That's what I highly recommend. So, okay, so I am going to swap over to my Canva account real quick. Maybe. There we go. I don't know why I didn't have it logged in the first place. So this isn't a Canva class, but I teach a Canva class, and some of you have already taken my Canva class. But you can make short form videos in Canva, and so I'm going to start with Canva because I can do it on the desktop, and then I'm going to switch over to my mobile device, and I'm going to show you how to make videos on all of the other platforms. So. Okay, so first and foremost, so this is Canva, and I'm going to hit create, and I'm going to put a reel in the search bar, and it's going to come up. It says Instagram reel, and here we go. Okay, now I have a blank canvas. And everything's loading, which is nice. Now, the nice thing about Canva is it has templates. So if you don't really know what you're doing or you need something, you could put in a, something. I'm going to put in chocolate maker. No, that's not how you spell maker. Okay, I'm going to put in chocolate maker. And so right here, they actually have a video. I'm going to click and drag it over here. And you can see we're talking about World Chocolate Day. Okay, so they have video. Canva has preloaded video, a stock video that you can use. You can also upload your own video. In this particular case, we've got the timeline down here, and it shows that World Chocolate Day and July 7th are all on different timeline timeline parts. But if you wanted to get rid of one of these or you wanted to change it, you can just select it. And I could go here and write Serge. That's not how you spell Serge. Sorry, Serge. Okay. So there's and then if I wanted to just do chocolates, right? Okay. So that's not sure what happened there. All right, there we go. So you can put text on it. The great thing is you can add music if you're so inclined. I'm not going to do that because it'll blare in my ear, but I can go down here to the audio and search for any kind of audio. Now, the one thing I will say with Canva is they have a really terrible library of audio, especially in the free version. If you have the premium version of Canva, it's a little bit better, but you're not going to get any Beyonce in there. I'm telling you, right? There's not going to be a lot of good music. But if you want to create in Canva and you want to use what's there, it is there as an option, and you can listen to it and like click on it and just kind of wander through. Other things that you can do, you can add elements. So what if I wanted to actually put a piece of chocolate in here? So I'm just going to put chocolate, and we've got this cute little chocolates, right? That's just like a little illustration of a chocolate that I can resize and move around. This is that part of a video. It's being kind of slow tonight, so let's see what's happening there. Okay. Anyhow, and if, by the way, if you do something you're like, I don't like this, you can do the undo and it's right, it just takes you right back to where you're at. So text, obviously we already had some text that was preloaded on this template, so it's right there. And you can just change it. You can change the font. So if you wanted something that's not like that, you can just swap it over. You can change the color of the font to whatever color is in your brand or whatever you like. So there's also a lot of AI tools, which I'm not going to get into tonight. But the other thing I wanted to talk about is uploads. So over here, we have a bunch of uploads. These are all images that I've uploaded. I could go to videos, and these are videos that I've recorded for various and assorted things over the time. Some of these are actually taken while I was in class teaching. I can record myself. I can't actually do it right now, but
Oop- Oops. Can you all still hear me? Thumbs up. Okay, my headphones just died on me. I need new headphones and I haven't bought them, so my apologies on that. So let me know if you hear any background noise and whatnot, and we'll make that go away. So anyhow, so back to this. I could record myself. I can't because Zoom is using my camera and my speakers and all that good stuff. But the cool thing is that you could actually use this. Um, to record yourself. So Serge has a really great question. Thank you. I love this. So and his question is, isn't it better to not use music as many people listen without sound? Isn't overlay text more important? Yes and no. So you're absolutely right. People do listen to it without sound, and the overlay text or subtitles, CCing is really, really important if you want your videos to communicate. I would make videos without sound, without needing sound. Not that I would make them without sound. However, in the age of AI, I don't know. One of the things that you will see is that a lot of creators are now creating content and they're putting a low level of music in the background. And that is to help AI or to prohibit AI from taking their content and their voice and recreating it. Okay. So I think it's 5 minutes of sound, is what they can take to replicate your voice now in AI. And so I am seeing a lot of creators putting like I said, a very low level of music in the background to really help mess that up so it's not as easy for AI to steal. So the nice thing is that, it's not critical to the video, especially if you put it in a low level. During Christmas, I did an Advent calendar thing where I opened up an Advent calendar and I put music through the whole thing. And if people listen to the music, I had it so low that you could kind of hear it, but mostly I just wanted it underneath to mess up the AI. So now, Jen just asked, can I create in Canva and then go into Instagram? Absolutely. And you can add that sound from Instagram's library. And Instagram has a much, much better library. So I highly recommend that. Like I said, if you have to use the library in Canva for the sounds, please do. But you're going to have much better stuff in Instagram. Facebook has a decent library. Weirdly, they're both owned by Meta, but Instagram has a better library of music than Facebook does. I couldn't begin to answer why that is. So, okay. So as far as going back over here, sorry, I just need to move things aside real quick. And once I'm ready, like by the way, if I wanted to pop my face right here, there's my video, and I'm not going to play it, but that is, I don't even know what it says. I'm gonna take it off when I want to share it. So in Canva, how do I get it out of Canva into the platforms that I need? Well, you can just download it onto your computer, or if you have the Canva app on your phone, you can download it onto your phone and then upload it into your whatever platform you're using. And so you just hit download, and of course, MP4 video is going to be what it is. So now you can also, if you want, connect your Instagram, your TikTok, your YouTube to your Canva account and it will just automatically post over there. But I don't think that you will be able to add music from Instagram. I think it'll just take whatever was created in Canva and move it over. I don't use that feature myself, just because I do enough with different things and I don't want to accidentally post on the wrong platform. So anyhow. So Turi says, I tried importing commercial music into Canva and it recognizes it and blocks it every time or most of the time. Yes, it does, because you don't have probably the rights to use that music. So, and that is one thing like audio. You can upload a voice recording, but you can't import music, and you can't upload musical files. So, by the way, I'm just gonna uploading files to Canva is super easy. You just literally hit the upload button. It's gonna open up, your place where you would go and find your videos or whatever. So super easy. You can do that. I have the Canva app on my phone. And so I take a lot of videos and pictures with my phone. And sometimes I upload it in the Canva app on my phone, and then I move over to my computer where I have a nice big screen because I like to be able to see what I'm doing. And I'm of that age where I have to wear my fancy cheater glasses, or my grandma glasses, whatever you want to call them, and to look at my phone. And so, however you want to do it, but that is one way of doing that. So, okay. Do we have a question? You want to get fancy with background music? You can use an AI music generator like Suno for $10 a month. Yeah, you can do that. So, absolutely. Okay, I am going to switch over to a different share. So now would be the time if you have to go to the restroom. It's going to take me just a half a minute to get this set up and ready to rock and roll. Does anybody have any questions that they want to ask? No? Okay, great. Come on. There we go. Screen mirroring is functional. And let me make my screen just a little bit bigger. Okay, cool. All right. All right. So I've already talked about Canva. I think we will move on to Instagram, and I need to share my screen. Hello. Oh, there we go. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and share the sound so that you can hear the sound. Okay. All right. Does everybody see this is my mobile device, my home screen? Okay, good. Okay. I'm going to go into Instagram. I'm going to start on Instagram. And so this should look somewhat familiar to those of you who are using Instagram. And up here at the very top is the plus mark. I hate that they've moved it. It used to be down here in the center of the screen, and I'm having a hard time retraining my self to come up to the top and tap it. But when I tap the plus, I'm going to get, oh, look, hey, there's me. There's hello. And so you can see my background a little bit. See why I have a virtual background? Because, you don't need to see that. And also the lighting's terrible. It's awfully yellow. But down here at the bottom of the screen, I can do a post, I can do a story, or I can do a reel. Since we're doing reels, I'm going to tap on reel, and right here are all my videos. As you might guess, there's a lot of cat videos on my phone. Can't imagine how that happened. I downloaded this off of Canva today. It's just a cute cat video. It's about 25 seconds long, and I'm gonna pop over here. And so we've got this really cute little cat kind of doing his thing, right? And just walking toward the camera, really, right? Okay, so I need to put my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. But down here at the very bottom is all of our options for creating in Instagram. And by the way, because Instagram is owned by Meta and Edits is the place where they really want people to use, I could open this in Edits and do it in Edits, and I will show you that in a moment as well. But first I'm going to show you Instagram, just to kind of show you. So what if I want to put text on? So I can just tap the text and I can type in nope. Spell things correctly. Cute kitty, right? So my phone knows me and knows it needs to correct. So I used my screen. I could also dictate it using the microphone that's down here in the lower right-hand corner. Over here on the font, we have oops, what are we doing here? We have a kind of a variety of fonts. There's not a million, but there's a few, and so you can kind of pick the one that you like the best. I like the cute kitty. I can go over here and I can pick colors. So I can change the color that are preloaded here, or they have a little eyedropper, and I could literally go anywhere in the video or the image and decide what color. I'm going to go with that lighter color and say, okay, that's cool. Then the next thing is the 3A's is basically kind of like an animation. So if I hit typewriter, you can see Cute Kitty is like typewriter. If I don't like that, I can go back to none. I could put pop. So basically, what you want to do with all of these things is don't be afraid to kind of play. And so, like jump, okay, what is it doing? If you don't like it, you hit the none button or you do the undo button, and it allows you to just go back to where you were at. There used to be a really cute one. Yeah, drift up is kind of cool. I don't know. However you want to add little bit to your video. Then you can go over, what's this called? Like an emphasize. It's a few more things to do with your fonts. I'm old enough that I remember word art in Word, and that's what this reminds me of. So like I put a hard shadow on it and it automatically shows that there's a shadow. I can do off, so you can see it makes a little like drop shadow with a block. Neon does a little sparkle with glow. My favorite is Shimmer. I use this one all the time just because I think it's really cute. Again, if you don't know what it is, just go ahead and tap on it and see what it does. You're like, oh, I don't like that, or I do like that. So, or you can do none. Okay. This icon right here is come on. It basically puts like a little background on there for you. And so if you tap the A with the box around it, Serge has a really good question that says, stick to one style for your company and not overdoing it with effects. Yes, actually, that is true. Unless, of course, your audience is really into effects and emojis and those kinds of things, right? So knowing who your audience is and what they respond to is very important. But also, you can have so much stuff on the screen that nobody can see what's going on in the video. So yeah, use them sparingly. And then we have another question. Good idea to give Instagram access to all our videos and photos. Um, is it a good idea? I have to deal with the limited amount that I've done. So there's probably some security risks there too, but I guess there's security risks in everything that we do. So I guess choose your platform and give it the permissions that you need to. So, okay. Um, and then the final item over here is the alignment. So you can align it left, right, or center. And then when I hit done, I can actually like pick up and move this around to different places on the screen. Now, if I wanted to go back and re-edit that, I'm like, oh, that color was a terrible color and nobody can see it. I can go back and adjust things a little bit and see if I can't make it. And just, there we go. So now we can see the cute kitty. It's in a good place. Now, the other thing I want you to be aware of is almost all of the platforms now, they have content down here in the bottom. It's basically like your username and probably whatever you've put in your description, whatever the platform puts up. A lot of times there's stuff up here in the top. So you really kind of have a small window of a space to use. So be aware when you're making this video like this one, if I were to post this, you would probably lose a little bit of the cat's head up at the top. It's not such a huge deal on this particular video, but be aware of where you're framing your video and what your actual workable space is in the platform that you're using. Okay, cool. All right, so that is text. You can do things. So these are little like animated GIFs and things like that. You could put a quiz. I'm sure you've all seen like a quiz. Who likes cats? Yes or no, or something like that. That's where you would do it. You can put the time, the temperature. I don't know why you'd put the temperature. That's a weird thing to put on there. I see a lot of people use like this is a way, ask a question. Is this cute? Right? And then it gets people to stop their scrolling and actually respond so they can, go back and forth. And you can move that around. You can also resize it by just putting both of your fingers on top of the item and then just squeezing or pushing together. This is right beside the letters is this little thing that looks like a sticker. And those are called stickers. And so, and again, if you put something in here and you don't like it, you can pick it up, drag it down to the bottom of your screen where the garbage can is, and it should delete. There it goes. So now it's gone. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, okay, ask questions. So yeah, it's under the stickers. Okay, sorry about so lonely screen. By the way, lonely screen is something that I use to mirror my mobile device. It's free, but of course they want me to buy the premium version. I don't. It just pops up and it says, "Hey, do you want to buy the other version?" So, okay. Next, I'm gonna skip music for a minute because I should have turned off all my notifications. So I'm gonna skip it because I don't want it blaring and playing over and over again. I don't know who that is, Serge, but it's adorable. By the way, Serge has now officially become my favorite client because he's brought his dog in. So if anybody else wants to show their pets, I love that. So, okay, so I'm going to move over to the next item, which is if I wanted to add to the reel. So what if this 25-second video, I wanted more? So I could come over here. Oh, I hit the music and add. This is my beautiful blue, my beautiful kitten. She's not a kitten anymore, but if I scroll down, she's at the very front of the video now. Okay. Now, if I don't want her there, I can look just oh, sorry, we got somebody coming in. I can tap on it and delete it, and then it goes away. So, but you can add, and you can also add still images if you want. All of mine are live. Where's a still image? No, I apparently had my live on all the time. That's an image. So if I wanted to put that image in, it's right there. And if I didn't want it at the beginning of the video, I can hold onto it till you kind of get that thing, and then I can drag it to the other side of the video. And now it's at the end of the video. Okay. And I can also, so this little, when I tap on it, it makes that yellow box around it. You could actually so this actually just put it in for an extra 5 seconds. If I want it to be more than 5 seconds, I can just drag. Well, she says, sometimes my fingers are not working. Do I have no, I don't have a stylus sitting on my desk right at the moment, of course. Usually should be able to grab the end of it and extend the length of that image. So other thing that you can do now that I've got this in here, what if I wanted it to do something cool rather than just like go from the video to the image? If you tap on this guy right there, you can have a transition. And the little guy that I said, see, done, is this little white box with the line. If I tap on that, it says, oh, look, here's a transition, and we can look at the transition, and it kind of shows you what the transitions look like. So we go from this to a blur, or it swipes, or it flares. Okay. So just kind of roll through all of these and see which one you like. And so, okay. So there's our Blair. Okay, so going back to our timeline, if I had Weird. My text is gone. Must have accidentally deleted it. Awesome. All right, that's cool. Stop it. Done. So down here, you see the cute kitty is down here. And if I want it to be further along on the video, I'm grabbing the end of that box and I'm just extending it so that it basically plays through the entire video. So it starts here, suddenly shows up, and then it's going to stay on the screen for as long as it's on the timeline. So it will stay up until about 20 seconds and then it goes away and then we glitch into that other option. Okay. So when you are in this screen and you see something like this, you're like, okay, you get uh, different navigation menus. And so sometimes you're like, oh, what is this doing? You're like, okay, what no, I want to edit the video. Okay, so in this particular case, it's editing the text. If you're ever here and you're lost and you don't know what to do, the little arrow that's right here will take you back to the main navigation menu for the whole video. Okay. All right. Overlay. I love overlay. I think it's super cool. So I'm going to have my kitty here. There she is. Now I think there is, so I can just like, pick that up and like I can actually take out what's wrong. Where's it at? No, there was a way to delete the background. And so if I'm maybe I'm thinking about no, I'm thinking about edits. So by the way, sometimes because I use all of the platforms, I forget like I'm like what's working in this one and what's not. But I think overlay is really a cool thing because you can put a picture or something else in there to kind of allow to kind of be there for a minute. You're like, okay, that's cool. I'm going to put that right there. I'm going to hit done. And if I don't want it to be through the whole video, I can kind of move my thing around, which is my finger is just not letting me do it. So anyhow. And don't get too wound up as like if something's not working the way you think it is, it's fine. It's probably not you. I just need a stylus to be able to navigate this a little bit better tonight. So it's just not allowing me to move things around like I wanted. But if I want to delete it, you just hit the delete button. Okay. Edit, you can edit your video. So what if I wanted this video to be a little bit shorter? I can, when I hit the edit video, I can literally just drag the little arrow right there and it makes it a lot shorter and I'm not seeing as much of the video as I was before. If you have 2 or 3 videos that you're stitching together, that's pretty useful. When I was making all those videos for the Advent calendar, I stitched together several videos and still images and stuff, and I wanted them to be shorter or longer, and that's one way. So question, does Instagram punish users for uploading or posting videos you made on Canva or anywhere else instead of editing it? Not to the best of my knowledge, although I just talked to a client today who said that she had heard that using the scheduling tool that Meta gives you is people are finding that some of their stuff is metered. I have not confirmed that. And so they're not showing, she said that they're not showing stuff as frequently or as far as if you're posting it live rather than scheduling it. So I have no confirmation on that. I will do research on that real quick. So, but cross-platform. Now I do know that Instagram used to and may still kind of it would throttle back your reach on TikTok videos. So if you would take a video that you made on TikTok and then you just post it on Instagram, it would have less of a reach. Now, are they still doing that? I'm not sure. I will have to check that out. I will research that and get a better answer for you on that. So, okay. All right. All right, what other things do we have? Closed captions. There's no talking in this video, but if you do have talking, you can actually tap the captions and it will automatically transcribe whatever you've said in the video onto the screen for you, which is pretty useful. I love that. I mentioned the voiceover. So if I wanted to do a voiceover right here, I could start it right about here and say, "This is a very cute kitty." And you can see that it's recording and creating another layer on the timeline. And then I can release it and hit stop. And you should be able to hear this. So, "This is a very cute kitty." And you can see that it's recording and creating another. The cool thing, so you can hear like my heaters, like my garage is right there. You can hear my heater going. I can hear a lot of ambient noise. I could actually go in here and I can bring the volume down if I need to, or I can go in and work on the voice effects. So you could actually turn it to like helium.
Layer on the timeline, and then I can release it.
I can't imagine why you'd want to do that, but some people do. There's also voice effects, duplicate, adjust the selection. Oh, okay. So Instagram does not have, in edits, they actually have a way that you can filter out some of the background ambient noise and stuff. So Instagram does not have that, but you can actually have your sound fade in and out so that it fades in and then fades out. That's kind of cool. So each one of these platforms are going to have a little different options. And so pick the one you like. Like I said, I'm really digging edits right at the moment. So filter, I don't use filter, but this is kind of that whole back in the, what Instagram really became known for, right? Is, you've got these filters that kind of change the look of your images a little bit. You just kind of like wander through these and see if you like any of them, and if you don't. So, okay. It says here you can import audio here. I think that's interesting. Oh, from any video. So if you have audio on a video, you could import that there. So if you'd recorded something. So Lewis asks, what are my thoughts about having captions? I think captions are fantastic for a variety of reasons. One, they're accessible for people who can't hear. So I think that is a really good way to include everybody in your videos. And also, for those of us who might be watching videos when they should be doing something else during a meeting, you can watch videos and still know what's going on. Not that I would ever have done that ever. However, actually what I do is I fall asleep to videos, and my husband's really cranky when I turn up the volume on videos in the middle of the night. So I like to watch videos, and so I just have the volume off, and if it doesn't have captions or I can't tell what's going on, I scroll right past it. So I think that you will see more people watching your videos because it's more inclusive. Okay, so that is the basics of creating on Instagram. Okay, by the way, that took a really long time. I know that but everything else is very similar, and so we'll be able to roll through the rest of the stuff pretty quickly. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Instagram. And this isn't really about making videos, but I think it's really, really important. In July of 2025, Instagram opened up their content to be indexed by Google. So, sorry, I need a little water. What does that mean for you? So before, when you would do a search for something, Google would say, oh, the Idaho SBDC has a Facebook page and an Instagram page and a TikTok. Cool. But the content that was on our socials was not included in the search. Well, now it is. So what does that mean for you? That means this is an extra opportunity to boost your visibility on Google search. So how do you do that? You make sure that in your caption that you write something about whatever it is that you're doing. So in this particular case, if let's say I'm a cat rescue, and that's why I have this cute cat video, right? So I would say, you know, at Kim's Cat Rescue, we have this cute little orange kitten that is ready for adoption. He has been neutered and he is ready. Just go to the link in our bio to fill out an adoption form. And we also have lots of other kittens and, you know, cats or something like that. But I would talk about what it is that we do, how we do it, put a call to action. And also, I would probably mention in this particular case, like it's based in Boise, Idaho, right? So who we're doing it for, what we do, and where we do it are the three things that I think you should put in your captions. So Lewis, tricky question. Is there one of the editing platforms that can take your voice and make it speech to text? So you could use this text and put it through AI, helping you create captions for your video. All of them will take your voice and create captions, CCs, for you. But I don't know how you would pull the text because it's text that appears on the video. It's not like it's going to create like a file that you can copy to use to put into AI. So, oh, I'm sorry, Lewis. It was Serge that was asking the question, not Lewis. My apologies. And Lewis says there's one called Descript. So there you go. It's worth taking a look at and seeing what it does. Great. Thank you. I love crowdsourcing. Okay. Anyhow, going back to this. So if you're using Instagram, make sure that you add a caption and make sure that it's filled out. Does it need hashtags? Instagram's been moving away from hashtags for a couple of years now, and it is moving more and more away from them being useful. People still use them. So for those of you who don't know, a hashtag was a way to catalog the data and find it. So in this particular case, back in the day of hashtags, I would be like kitten rescue, kitten for adoption. Those would be some of the Boise kittens, Boise kitten for adoption, right? Those would be my hashtags because somebody who's looking for a kitten in the Boise area would be following that hashtag. And as they're scrolling through their Instagram back in the day, you used to get that content into your feed. That is no longer the case. You can follow hashtags, but they don't put it into your feed because you're following the hashtags. They put stuff into your feed that is from people that you don't know or that you don't follow because you've interacted with content that's like that video. So in my case, my Instagram feed is just filled with cats and animal videos because that's what I interact with all the time, right? But the minute I accidentally interact with a political video, then it suddenly like the algorithm goes, oh, she wants politics and puts it in. And then I'm like, no, cats, I need more cats. But the algorithm is paying attention to what you're watching, how long you're watching it, whether or not you're giving it the heart, whether you're commenting it, whether you're sharing it in your stories or on your DMs or anything. And that's taking that and putting it out there. It's also cataloging the caption and being like, okay, what's this video about? Well, if it's about cat rescue and Kim's watched 15 videos about cat rescue, this would be a video that we should probably share to her feed. Okay. Okay, so going in, tagging people. So if it's relevant, you can tag people the @. So for instance, sometimes if I reshare content from another creator, I will @ them. So A, they know that I am resharing their content, and B, their audience may potentially see me and my stuff because I am piggybacking on their content. So again, this is, and use it sparingly and when appropriate. So I like to share stuff from the SBA, who is our parent organization, tagging them, tagging Boise Dev, who is a local news organization. That makes a lot of sense because if the content's relevant, right? Don't just tag Boise Dev because you think they should see it. That's just annoying and people will ignore it. So adding a location, again, if your business is very geographically centered, then a location is actually very smart. So, you know, if you have a chocolate shop in Boise, Idaho, then that people come to, then obviously put that down. Serge is going to be selling chocolate online, so he doesn't need to worry about that. But anyhow, okay. So what other things? I don't need to add an AI label because I didn't use any AI in this video at all. Trials. So if you want to do this, like to try to reach audiences, you can put your video out there and they will put it out to people who aren't your followers first. And if it gets enough engagement, then they will repost it into your feed. So something's interesting. I also have my Instagram and Facebook linked so that when I post on Instagram, it automatically goes over to Facebook. You don't have to do that. It just saves time for me. So, okay. Now, am I going to post this? No, because the Idaho SBDC, my boss would be like, why are you posting cat videos, Kim? And I'd be like, because I was teaching a class. I'm not going to post it, but I can save it in my drafts. Where can I find the site? Lori, what site are you looking for, dear? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and open up Facebook. No, there's Facebook. And I'm going to go to, I thought I had the SBDCs open. There we go. Okay. Hello. That's weird. Okay, there we go. Okay. I could see it on my screen, but it was going blank. So, okay. Now I'm in my business Facebook page. So the Idaho SBDC, there's my page. That's really cool. And I'm going to basically go through the same thing, but it won't take as long because it's going to be very similar. So I'm going to hit the plus sign. It's down in the middle in the center, like it should be. Instagram, I'm just telling you. Put it back where it belongs. I hate it up at the top. And I'm going to tap reel. And lo and behold, here's this interface, right? So up here at the top, we've got like if I wanted to use the camera, it automatically brings up my camera roll on my phone. But you know, if I wanted to use the camera, I could. Oh, Serge's, it's actually up. His website is up in the top of the chat. But Serge, if you want to put your chocolate website there. Go ahead and share. I love that. And anybody else who wants to share their stuff, please do. That's why we're here. It's a little hard to do interactive on these kinds of classes, but anything in the chat, and I'll download the chat log and send that along with the video tomorrow. So. Okay. Anyhow, up at the top, we've got templates, music, got my saved drafts. There's various things. I don't use these a whole lot, but I do think I noticed this today that we have a green screen. So if I wanted to hide my background, so see how now you don't see my background, but there's my background. There's a green screen. And so like what I've got on my Zoom window, I've got that. So again, don't have to do that. I just think that's kind of cool that you can do that. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to go back to my cat video and I'm going to start rolling through things and show you again. So by the way, I mentioned the noise reducer. So this is the guy, if I turn on the noise reducer, that's what I was looking for. Before. It's weird that it's not on Instagram. I don't know. And it baffles me why Instagram and Facebook are so different when they're owned by Meta, but here we are. Okay, text. Here we go. Classic deco. And I'm just going to tap kitty. And you can change the color. It does not have the cool eyedropper. So on Facebook, you basically have, you know, a color. You have the pre-loaded colors that are in there. I'm just going to go with white. You can change your justification, left, right, center. And then we've got like a background. So you can put like a little bit of background behind it or not to make it easier to see. So Thank you for sharing all your stuff. That's so cool. Okay. Excellent. Okay, so I'm done with the kitty. Oh, by the way, I'm going to tap up here. Up at the top, do you see these little guys, this little guy and this little guy? So when I tap on this one, it will be a voice. So remember when I did the helium voice on the other one? So if I tap voice one,
Kitty. 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 Kitty.
oh, I'm not a big fan of those myself. I'm good with my own voice, but if you're not, that's one way of doing it. You can also put right here, the little thing is we come back to that timeline. And if we go back to see where it says Kitty, I'm like, what if I don't want Kitty to be on the screen the whole time? I can slide that to just be on the first couple seconds of the video. So, and it will go away here in a second. And now it's gone. Okay. So that's how I've had people ask me, like, how do I have my text show up and go away? That's one way of doing it. So, okay. ClipHub is, you can add like GIFs or, preloaded snippets from various and assorted things. You can search. So I'm just going to put in kitty and see what kind of kitties we get. So we've got, you might be able to find, I'm curious. I'm going to put in Die Hard just because I was curious about that. Yeah, not a lot of movie stuff in here. Depends on what the library is. I was curious. I've seen a lot of videos that have snippets of movies in there. And I was always kind of wondering how they got those. But obviously it's not there. So, oh, but here we do have some TVs and movies, so there's some stuff there. They do have some things that are there that are available. So if I wanted to, that's going to show up at the very end of that video. She's crazier. Oh, I'm sorry. I want it to play from here so that you can kind of see what's
I am crazy.
Okay. I don't know what that's from, but it's funny. And if I want to get it, discard this clip, I'm going to discard. So cool. All right, we're back to where we are at. Okie dokie. Thank you everybody for sharing that. Again, like I said, I will download the text, the chat stuff so that and include that with everything. So, okay. I'm going to hit done and go back over here. So remember the effects. So these are those effects. So if I kind of tap on all of these, you kind of see how it's changing the way this looks. It puts these weird little filters on. I'm not a huge fan of these, but again, your mileage may vary. If you love them for whatever reason, great. If you want that to be part of your brand, or if you're just here because you wanted to learn how to make videos and you want to be one of the cool kids and make cool stuff like this, that's where you would find it, obviously. Oh, good. Something isn't working. Awesome. Love it when that happens. So, captions. So, I can edit, it's transcribing the audio. There's no audio to transcribe. So, it's going to be a little hard for it to transcribe. So, but if there was, that would be where you would do it. Remember those stickers, similar to what we saw on Instagram, but interestingly enough, there's not a poll. And also there's not a search. Oh, you can search GIFs and emojis, but we don't have that poll. That's strictly an Instagram thing. But they've added WhatsApp. WhatsApp is also owned by Meta, which is part of that family. So if you wanted to have a WhatsApp phone for people to call you, they could do that. So, okay. And that's it. So the other thing I wanted to do, where was I at nope, not the, I want to go back. Okay, so audio. So here's all the audio that you can, kind of roll through. And I don't know what this is, but you can test it out and listen to it. That's obnoxious. I am a big fan of Enya, and I know that they have like I thought they had the entire Enya library in here. Oh, that's why. I am in my professional business one, and it has a limited amount of access to popular music. So Enya's not in here. You're going to have a lot of royalty free. If I went back to my personal account, I would have Enya. So keep that in mind. If music is really important to you, then you might have to have a different kind of an account. So, and that's something we can talk about deeper. I want to make sure I get through everything tonight, so we won't dig deeper into that. Anyhow, so I'm not going to put any. We can turn that way, way, way down. It's not so obnoxious. And I don't have the camera. Here's where I would add. I'm going to take that away. I'm going to add the voiceover here. And this is a very cute kitty that I'm recording a voiceover over. Okay, done. And then edit. When I go to the edit, it takes me to the place with my timeline. I must not have saved the audio. Awesome. But there's also other things down here where I can add things. I could replace that image. I can change the speed. So if I wanted to speed up how fast this goes, and I've actually done this where I've recorded a video. And this is a very cute kitty that I'm recording a voiceover over. Oh, that's interesting. The voiceover isn't a separate layer. It is right on top of the video. I don't love that. So anyway, you can change the speed if you need your videos to be a little bit shorter. I do that. Like I will record a video and I'm like, oh gosh, this is way too long. Most people aren't going to watch more than a 60-second video. So, you know, if you do a 1 minute, 20-second video, they're probably not going to watch the last 20 seconds. My videos tend to top out. People stop watching after about 30 seconds, I've noticed in my analytics. So really, it doesn't stop me from making a 60-second video, but I know that people aren't watching the second half of it. So you can crop, so reverse split. There's things that you can do with the video here and that you can get in there and do a little fun video editing if you're so inclined. Okay, I'm going to hit next, and here we are back to this place. The description here is useful, but not as much. It's useful for the humans. The humans will read it potentially, but you're not going to get the SEO Google indexing that you would for like you do in Instagram. Although I will say I've started to see some Facebook content sneak into search results. So I suspect that is coming, but the announcement has not been made just yet. So, okay. All right. And this is a very cute kitty that I'm recording a voiceover over. Oh, that's obnoxious. Okay. So we've done Facebook, we've done Instagram. Let's go to TikTok, shall we? Oh, please stop. I got a new. That is obnoxious. So, okay, so here I could record the video like this, right? Or first and foremost, so on TikTok, you can just do text. So you can create an image of your text. I think that was a question you were asking, Serge. So that's something that you might be able to do here. I have not tried this particular feature. If I wanted to upload a photo, it will go into my photo file. And then if I scroll over here, I can do a 15-second, 60-second, or Lord help me, a 10-minute video. Nobody wants that. So I'm going to pop here to 60 seconds because that cat video that I have on my phone is 25 seconds. And then I'm going to go down here to the little image right there. And there's my little kitty right there. And I'm going to go next. And as you see,
I could just keep watching you, watching you, watching you.
So it added sound automatically. That's a TikTok thing. You can go through and add sound by tapping the add sound up here. I can edit so that here we're back to that timeline thing. So if I wanted to speed up this video a little bit, I could speed it up to, oh, maybe a little bit faster. So he's not moving quite as slow. Okay, up to you whether you want to do that or not. I'm not going to add sound because it's too distracting for me. I can go to the text Again, this should look very, very familiar. Pick your font, type in whatever text you want to put in there. Pick your color. Again, preloaded colors, not cool like Instagram, allowing you to pick a color off of the image. Hit done. Here's that text to speech.
Kitty.
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 Well, that's terrifying. If I don't want that to be there, I just hit the little circle with the slash through it, so we don't have that. Let's see, where was I? I was on the font. So
Kitty.
oh, geez, I thought I took that off. I don't like that. Where did I find that? Text to speech. There we go.
Kitty.
None. Okay, now I've taken it off. Okay, that's just a lot to deal with. Okay, back to our space. Okay, so anyhow, going back here, I wanted to get to this guy right up here. I don't know why it's not letting me tap things. Okay, so apparently on that particular font, it won't allow me to change and put something. Okay, that's what's happening. So the font that I chose, the neon, do you see that this A up here at the very top in the middle is kind of grayed out? I can't use it. So you can't use that particular item on that font. But if I go to retro, it suddenly is white. And then if I can do that, and it will change and put some background on the kitty. If you're so inclined, it'll outline it or put a background on it. So, okay, that should seem, pick it up, move it. What else? We've got stickers, kind of similar to what we've seen before. We can do a mention. We've actually got a donation tab. So if you are running a cat rescue or something like that, you could do that. GIFs, polls. This is kind of, they've taken all the best stuff from Instagram and Facebook and put it on TikTok, which I think is cool. So we've got a lot of GIFs that we could put on, and they're searchable. So if I wanted to search for kitty, there's a little dancing kitty that's on there. And you can just pick it up and move it around. So, okay. These are special effects, right? So these are the filters. Again, I'm not a super big fan of these, so I don't use them myself. But again, you are, it is your video. And if that works with your brand and that's what you want to do, by all means, please do that. So Marcia asks, is a foreign accented voice possible? I have seen that. I believe it on edits. I'm almost sure that there is a foreign one. I think it was Spanish, but we'll get to edits here in just a second. So, okay, there's those filters again. Super excited. Voiceover, or this is change your voice. So I could do a voiceover and it would change my voice to sound like any of these guys. So, hello, I'm just doing a quick sample to show what this looks like. Done. Hello, I'm just doing a quick sample to show what this looks like. Hello, I'm just doing a quick sample to show what this looks like. I'm not a huge fan of that, but you know, it's there. If you like it, please use it. Just so that you know. What I really want you to be aware of is don't be afraid to test something out. Like if you don't know what one of these things does, tap on it and play with it until you figure it out. What's the worst that you're gonna do? Ruin your video? Cool, you can re-upload it and do it again. I mean, it's not the end of the world. Okay, so I'm gonna go to next. Again, we're here, we've got a description. On TikTok, people do read the descriptions. I'm not sure how useful hashtags are. I know people use them. I don't follow hashtags on TikTok. It may help with the algorithm a little bit. So it's up to you, but it is an option. Now, I'm not going to post this, but I'm going to put it back down.
You would hardly recognize
that. All right, done. Now we're going to go to edits. All right, so here's edits. We've got a bunch of things. So the interface on edits is slightly different. but not so much so. The plus sign to create a new project. Everything's called a project in Edits. And you go plus, and I could do camera, so I could record myself this way if I wanted. I am going to go to my gallery, and I'm going to go back to our cute little kitty, and Kitty's in here. And as you can see, we've got audio. So if I wanted to add audio, here's where Enya is, I'll bet. Yep, there you go. So all that is there. So you can put that in. Again, I'm not going to do that right now because it's really loud and obnoxious. The text, same thing, very, very similar to what everything else is going on. Although I am curious to see if it has a sample of the color. Yes, you can sample a color. So you could pick a color from here, or even better, you can put in a hex code. So a hex code is a 6-digit number and letter combination that will coincide with a specific color. So like in our logo, that blue that's in our logo, the red that's in the logo has specific hex codes. And so if I wanted to use that for my branding, I would type in the hex code. So, okay. Again, different fonts. This looks familiar from the Instagram. We've got a little bit of glow and stuff. So nothing that you haven't already seen a couple of times. As you can see on the timeline, the layer, I can choose to make it go the whole way, or I can make it smaller. And by the way, if I wanted it to say kitty for here, and then I want to move ahead, and then I want to add another cat, and put that in there, then suddenly we've got kitty cat, right? And if I want to view this, I can hit view. I'm not entirely sure why that's so incredibly tiny on my screen, but must have something to do with the kind of video it is. So, okay. The other thing up here where it says new project, everything is going to be a new project. If you tap on that, you can just hit rename and just cat, and then it's renamed so you know what it is. This became really useful when I was doing 30 days of Advent calendar or stuff. So I would do day 1, day 2. So I couldn't remember, what day am I on? So I could look back in my files and see. So that's quite useful. All right, what else have we got? We've got the voiceover. So, I can record a voiceover. This is a place where it will actually, you can adjust and filter out the ambient noise from that. So I'm going to record this voiceover right now. And I'm going to hit the plus sign. And then right here it says voice enhance. And I'm going to record this voiceover right now. And record this voiceover right now. Record this voiceover right now. I don't know if you can hear the difference. I can hear the difference. So it sounds so much better, so much cleaner. There's also record this. That was the voice enhance. There's voice effects. So let's see. Somebody asked about. I do not see. Record this voiceover right now. I'm not seeing anything that is with an accent, but I have seen that. Let me figure out what platform I saw that on. I don't remember. I could have sworn it was Edits, but apparently I'm wrong. Okay, let's see. Going back. So if I wanted to add a link, so if I wanted to add a link to, like my homepage or something, I could do that, or I could link to an account, like an Instagram account or a Facebook account. That's actually really cool. So that's kind of like tagging people. Here's our closed captions if we wanted to start doing that. We've got the filters again, I wish I knew why that was not so big. So weird. We've got the overlay, which I talked about before. We've got some sound effects on this one. So we've got, stop that. Let's see. Okay, so now it's added the cat purr to that. Now, what if I don't want the cat purr to be on the top of my voiceover? I can literally on this timeline pick it up and move it. so that it's not interfering. And so if I hit
record this voiceover right now.
okay. Okay. What else am I missing here? Oh, cutout. Here was the cutout that I was talking about. So if I wanted to pull my picture of my cat in here, and I'm going to say, yes, I'm going to cut out my cat, and there she is. And I can adjust her. I'm sorry about the size of that. That's super weird. But now she's on top of the video without the background. So that's actually kind of a cool thing that you can do on edits that I don't see on the other platforms. And then finally, we've got the stickers as an option. And here you just hit the export button. Now, what I love about the export button here is it will automatically post it to either my Instagram or my Facebook that I've already got hooked up to my edits. I'm not going to do that, by the way, again. But if I tapped on Instagram, it would automatically come there.
Record this voiceover right now.
I could download it to my phone, or I could send it in a message. So, or I can just do this and it saves it into my projects. So I can go back and re-edit this anytime I want. So, okay. That is edits. Now we need to do YouTube. Okay. So down at the very bottom, no, I don't want to try free YouTube. So down here at the bottom with the little circle with a plus in it, shorts is what you're looking at. Now I can record again, you're seeing me just like this. And if I hit the button, it will record. But if I wanted to add the video, that's right here. I can just tap on that and hit next. There's my video. And it's saying done, so it's going to process for a second. Now, up in the upper right-hand corner, you notice that it says it's a 3-minute video. I have up to 3 minutes. I don't have to use that 3 minutes, but I certainly can. Here's our text again, very similar. You don't get to choose you get to choose your color, but you can't sample a color. You have to choose the preloaded ones. And your fonts. You only get so many options. And so YouTube Sans, heavy, handwriting, it'll show you it if you just tap it up here at the top of the screen. Classy. Okay. We've got some filters. So I will say that the Shorts doesn't have as much editing capability and much fun stuff, but it's there. It has it. Now, why would you want to do YouTube Shorts? Well, who owns YouTube? Google owns YouTube. So when you're playing the SEO game, the content that you put out on YouTube could show up in search engine results. So, oh, thank you, Marcia. Veed. I don't know what Veed is, but Canva offers speech features that convert your text to an Italian voiceover. Okay, that's very cool. And then Isaac says Instagram is actively rewarding videos made in edits. Not sure if that changes depending on if you upload directly or you download and then upload. I will research that. Thank you for bringing that up, Isaac. That's great to know. So, okay. Okay, back to this. So I did the filters. We have stickers. So we've got, an image sticker that I could take from my, from whatever's going on here. Or I could do an AI sticker. Create your own sticker. I'm not going to play with that right at the moment. A Q&A, pictures, a poll, quiz. That's actually pretty useful. That's somewhat new. I have not noticed that before, so that's cool. Underneath stickers is our captioning. There's no captions available because there's no words on there. And then we've got a microphone if I wanted to record audio. Okay. And then basically we just go edit and you put your caption on. This is a good place to make sure that you have really good information in your caption about what it is, what your video is about, who it's for, who you're serving, your value proposition, and then you can upload the short. I am actually going to just save it because I don't want to upload it. So, all right, it is 8:22. I have rolled through all of our platforms. Is there any, do you want to open up your microphone and ask questions that I haven't answered yet? Or do you want your 8 minutes back? Because you're welcome to do that too. And as soon as I can get this uploaded to YouTube, I will send this off to everybody tomorrow. And you'll be able to access this video as soon as I get it. Now, I will say every now and again, YouTube does things and it is angry and it won't let me upload a video. So it should be out first thing in the morning. But if it's not, give me a little bit of time in case it's being awkward. So, Mary, was that a hand
Yep.
up?
Well, I was like, oh yeah, I do have a question. It took a little while for it to come back. You talked about the letters behind you, SBDC, it stands for, and tell me a little bit about that again, because I was right at the beginning when I was just coming on.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for letting me pitch what I do. I appreciate it. Your money's in the mail. No.
Okay, great. I
So this-
manifested that, by the way. That's how I'm doing.
Absolutely. Good deal. So this Small Business Development Center is a state and federally funded program that is there to help entrepreneurs be more successful. And so how we do that is we offer no cost, confidential professional consulting to small business owners. Now, I happen to be a specialist in social media technology, kind of this sphere. So I tend to spend a lot of time talking to people about this. My colleagues are all really brilliant with like financials and HR and those kinds of things and stuff. So depending on what kind of business help you need, you will be placed with a consultant that matches your needs. And you can, it's as one of my colleagues says, it's an all you can eat. So you can see us one time, you can see us 30 times. It's entirely up to you. There won't ever be a cost associated with our consulting. Now, we do training, which you just experienced, and we're actually starting to do a little more training again. We kind of slowed down with the pandemic and everything, and then my boss is like, we should do more of that. So we're going to start doing a little more of that. As a matter of fact, May the 4th, I think it's May the 4th, or not May, March the 4th, a month from today, I will be doing a lunch and learn on Canva. And so for those of you who attended my Canva class in person, this will be a virtual session where I'm just going to demo all the things on Canva. And then a week before that, I'm going to do something I've been threatening to do for a long time. I'm going to do an Ask Me Anything on Instagram. So I'm going to go live on Instagram and say, hey, everybody, ask me whatever you want. And if nobody shows up, I'll talk to myself for an hour. Otherwise, but it's a place where you can come in and talk. We'll see how that works out. But so we do have some training. And if you're interested, I will add you to my email list and you'll find out about our trainings. And I also promote other organizations who do business trainings, not just here, but all over. The great thing about the pandemic is other places they really upped their online training game. And so there are a number of SBDCs, SCORE, and women's business centers across the US that are doing some really amazing content. And so I try to promote as much of that as I can in my newsletter. In addition to that, we have, because we're housed at Boise State University, we have access to student projects. And so if you are a client and I'm working with you and I'm like, hey, you would make a really, really good candidate for this particular student project. Are you interested? You can say yes or no, and then go from there. And then finally here in the Boise area, we have a accelerator space that is for early stage businesses that are looking to get out of the back bedroom, but they're not quite ready to take on a 5-year lease. And it comes with space that's not at market rates, much cheaper, but it also has an on-site consultant like myself that's there to talk to, and also about 22-ish other entrepreneurs. So
Wow.
we also have locations in Post Falls, Lewiston, obviously Boise, Twin Falls, Pocatello, and Idaho Falls, as well as about 1,000 locations throughout the United States and its territories. We are national. So if you're here you obviously you can use us if you move to North Carolina. And I say that because I actually have a client that moved from here to North Carolina that I still visit with. We still talk about his business. So we're here to help in whatever way that we can. And like I said, most everything we do is very, very no cost or very low cost. So
So
thank you, Lily.
how would one move forward to, because well, I've got a business idea and an LLC, but I would like, that's it.
Okay, perfect. When I send this out tomorrow, there'll be a little thing that says, hey, if you want to take advantage of our services, fill out this form. We'll get back to you and get you scheduled up on our calendars.
Okay, that sounds great. I appreciate it.
You're
Thank
very
you.
welcome. Hey, look at Lewis, very helpful put the Americas SBDC, which is our
Oh,
governing entity, and then the Idaho SBDC. By the way, if you go to the Idaho SBDC, there's a great big red button that says Get Help. You can click on that right now. You don't have to wait for me to send that to you. And then pick Southwest Idaho, which is the Boise region. And if you want to talk to me, you certainly can, but you don't have to. It's whoever. My calendar is a little full right at the moment, so you might have to wait a little longer. Some of my colleagues have a little more availability right at the moment. So, just want to share some beautiful videos on 50 Flowers. Oh, Marsha, are you with 50 Flowers? The owner was a presenter. Oh, I see. Yes. Okay, so I actually know, yeah, she does have a fantastic story. Their business was a success story. So, by the way, our clientele is confidential, but some of our clients give us permission to talk about them. And one of them was 50 Flowers because they were a success story. So I can talk about their story in general. And actually, funnily enough, like they actually hired away two of our employees to work for them a few years ago. So, but yeah, they do have really amazing stuff going on, and they're just going great guns. So, and Serge says it works great to make an appointment. Excellent. So I'm glad to see that that's working the way it's supposed to. Every now and again, something goes haywire and it doesn't. So, um, does that tell you everything you needed to know, Mary?
yeah, yes, thank you.
You're
Appreciate
very
it.
welcome. Excellent. And by the way, I will also share my presentation with you, and so that you'll have the notes and stuff.
Great.
But you'll have the video, and you'll have my contact information. If you have a quick question and you're just like, oh my gosh, Kim, how did I do that voiceover? Let's shoot me an email. If you want a more in-depth conversation, then let's make an appointment.
Okay.
And it is officially 8:30. So I'm here. I got nothing else to do, but you all are free to go. You've put in your time, and I'm sure some of you are probably tired of listening to me talk. I know my cat. So before everybody, I just have to show off my cat. This is Spike, and he's about to get really annoyed because I picked him up. So anyway, um, that's the great thing about being able to work from home is showing
This
off.
is on camera. He didn't want to be on camera. Is he all
Right.
white?
He is a Flame Point Siamese.
Wow.
And so he is a adorable maniac who is just a menace and also very loving, like most cats. So as you might guess. So thank you for enduring my cat thing. So all right. Thanks, Isaac. Yes, this is seeing everybody's pets. I love it. Thank you, Erica. I can't wait to come visit you, Erica.
Thank you, Kim. This is great. A lot of
You're
lot of very practical information.
Thank you. Yeah, I really try to make it actionable and easy to take in because there's a lot of stuff to know. I sometimes people just it's too much. And so I want to make sure I think social media is for everybody and you should be able to make content that resonates and it shouldn't be a huge trial.
Okay.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Erica. Ooh, looking forward to it. Can't wait. Okay. Any other questions? I see we're just kind of like dripping and drabbing out. All right. Thank you, Serge. Talk to you soon. All right. All right. I am going to stop the recording. Maybe. I swear. There it is.